We are back with a brand new, fresh episode of Hobby Talk, a cardboard podcast. This is episode number 14. Ricky, how are you doing on this fine day? We have a ton of stuff to talk about, but first, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Baseball season actually started yesterday.
I was going to say, yeah, technically.
Technically,
A little stupid. I don't like how they did that, but whatever.
Yeah, no.
So,
no, I'm excited for the season. It's just around the corner.
So, like, I remember talking about last episode is like, this may be like the last true time to really buy these prospects up while they're cheaper, because we already seen a top prospect, Jackson Merrill, make the opening day Padres roster.
Mm-hmm.
We could be seeing sprinkles of maybe Spencer Jones, Jackson Holiday, Jackson Churio. So there's a lot of prospects that are on that cusp. And spring training is going to be winding down very soon. What is it? A week from today is like the grand opening day for, the rest of Major League Baseball. And the rosters are going to be decided at least a few days before then. So maybe this weekend we might be hearing trickles of news. Who do you want to see the most? Obviously, we want to see James Wood, but maybe let's put him aside. Who do we want to see the most make the opening day roster?
Well, actually, Brewers already announced that they're bringing up Jackson Churio.
They already made that announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to him. Churio cards going up.
But besides James Wood,
I know it's hard for you.
I want to say Jackson Holiday, but I feel like it's a little too early for him yet.
Mm-hmm. I thought you would have said Wyatt Langford, to be honest. But
Wyatt, he's a good one. I just
think it's too early. These kids were drafted like not even a year ago, like 8 months ago.
Paul Skeens is already MLB ready. He's so good.
Yeah, he is, and I hope he kind of gives the pitchers market a little bit of juice. Because honestly, no one cares about the pitchers market. I'm sure I've mentioned this to you. I know I've mentioned it to people here at the shop. No one cares about pitchers. They just don't. Shohei Ohtani's a unicorn, but he pitches. Unless your name's Nolan Ryan or Sandy Koufax, nobody cares. So hopefully, now that we see Paul Skeens, his Bowman Chrome first, his autos, and how good he is, I think hopefully he can kind of be like, hey, pitchers actually matter. But he needs to perform and needs to go more than 4 innings every start, which obviously he can do. All right.
Yeah, I mean, that kid's already pumping gas at 103 miles an hour.
Silly. Better be careful for Tommy John. Better be careful.
It's inevitable.
All right. So there was we were breaking down some topics that we want to talk about in before we started recording. One of them is actually from you, the whatnot. So talk to me about that. What do you want to talk about, and where are you want to take that direction? Because I'm curious what's on your mind.
Just like any other platform, I'm sure the majority of the sellers, breakers, repackers, I'm sure they're all honest people. Every time I log into Facebook, I just see, I got scammed on whatnot. I got scammed on whatnot. Watch this breaker pull cards from the screen and switch them out. And I just like there's no regulation on whatnot. Maybe there is. I haven't really done whatnot.
Whatnot regulates.
Yeah, I haven't done whatnot in a long time, so maybe they do have regulation. But I just feel like every day there's something new, a new story of a breaker scamming people or a repacker and all that stuff. So it's just like, I don't understand what makes people want to go on whatnot and do.
Right here, right on the phone. So easy. It's like DraftKings. That's what it literally has become for people.
That's all it is now. And it's like,
now, okay, keep going.
No, I don't know. It's like people
go ahead, get it off your chest. Go.
No, it's like people that certain people have scammed before, but they don't care because everyone has the feeling that, oh, it won't happen to me. but it will.
Do you think Whatnot in its entirety has been a good thing or a bad thing for the hobby, all things considered? Whether it's the financial aspect, the business aspect, the networking aspect, you got to throw in the scamming as well, the collecting, the buying, the selling. Do you think it's a good thing overall or a bad thing overall? Not what it will be, what it has been.
Uh, I do think the idea of it is a very good thing. It's awesome that there's a place that people can go online to break or buy cards, auction cars, whatever. I just think it could be executed better. And I hate how kind of commercialized it's become because like every influencer's uh, videos on YouTube, you see an ad for Whatnot, and sometimes I even dabble in the sneaker community a little bit, and they're all pushing Whatnot too. And I don't know, I just kind of hate how commercialized it's become.
There's
If that makes sense.
yeah. I remember a while back there was some streamer was opening Evolving Skies, one of the Pokemon sets from a few years ago, and he like had like the hit, which was the Moonbreon in it, but he like was so quick with it, and he kind of like he saw it, but like kind of just like didn't like. It's gonna be hard to. It's gonna be hard to. I don't have any cards with me, but like he like slid the cards past, so like he didn't reveal the whole card, but everybody in the stream would have been able to see the edges, and be like, "Hey, that's that card. That's the Moonbreon we're looking for." So he kind of just like took two cards and slid it away like it was one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah. We got goofed on this hit," and he only got like suspended for like a week. He got fired from the company that he worked for, but the channel only got suspended for a week. Now, I'm not going to say that's an infringement on the actual Whatnot company that was streaming. So it was nice to see that the streamer was fired. But I mean, that happens all the time. People will take the cards and they'll kind of take it off screen, do something, and bring it back, or bring it
Mm-hmm.
side to side or something. I mean, just there's so much that has it's so easy to scam. It's just a matter of if you can get caught and if people are paying attention. Because if they're not, then it's easy. You know, it's super easy. But I think at the end of the day, and I'm gonna hate to say this, I think Whatnot's been a fairly good thing for the hobby because it's a great marketing tool. It's pumped out cards to people. It's put people in a position to get that itch, that gambling itch, that rip packing itch, even though they're not physically doing it. But a lot of people are so degenerate they don't care that they're not physically doing it. It's the fact that it's their money being spent on the cards that they're going to receive. I do not like how commercialized it is getting, like you were kind of saying. It's everywhere. Oh, hey, follow me on Whatnot, get $10 off. Here's my code. Da da da. Join me for this next show. Like it's just everywhere. Like me in my videos, I'm like, hey, subscribe to the channel. Hey, follow me on Instagram. It's super subtle though. I'm not pumping it out there like left and right. It's super subtle, and I think that's fine. That's just my opinion. But yeah, you're right. Influencers, no matter if it's sneakers, sports cards, I know it's out there for jewelry and Funkos. They're just like, hey, follow me on Whatnot and you can win this crazy thing. And it's like,
You could win.
slow
You
down.
could win this card for a dollar. Win these sneakers for a dollar. Like it's not. It's, you're
And
never
the
gonna
bid's
get
probably
any
just
for
starting at a
anything good.
dollar.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Um I I'm ultimately I'm not a fan of it. I think it's been good, but to a degree, I'm not a fan of it. I wish there was a way that like I know there's like Fanatics Live, obviously, basically countering Whatnot. But like I wish there was a way, and there might be for all I know, and I have no idea, that you could go like on Instagram live and like sell stuff on Instagram live. That would give access for everybody. And then Instagram will take their cut, whether it's from PayPal, Stripe, or whatever. And it would just be a way for any creator, any content creator. You don't need to get accepted by Whatnot, no acceptance by Fanatics Live. You can just go on. If you have a following, they can watch, and if they want, they can buy. And I mean, I guess Instagram would need to regulate it in a way, but I'm surprised it's a market that
And
they haven't, tapped into. Because I know you can like shop through Instagram, like it's like
yeah,
links and stuff. But
I mean, people go live on Instagram and like break or do sales and stuff like that, and then you pay them PayPal,
see,
whatever.
I'm thinking like keeping it all in house though. So you don't have to like send Venmo or Cash App or PayPal or whatever. It's
Yeah,
just like a built-in, I'm gonna call it PayPal, but whatever, a built-in PayPal where it's just like, oh, for like just like whatnot, oh, $5, place bid, and then if you win, it comes out. Instagram takes their cut, and then it goes into this account that's set up by whoever's streaming. Surprised that's hasn't been tapped by Instagram, to be honest. Because that's why I tell people, whatnot's just Instagram Live and eBay put together. Like that's literally what
no,
it
yeah,
is.
that's essentially what it is. Yeah.
Um, Sorry, I just want to finish that last bite of my yogurt. So, talk to me about repacks because we're going to get into some grading in a little bit, and we're going to get into another major hobby thing. But I want to talk about the repacks because you mentioned it, and I'm kind of curious on where you're going with this because I have my own thoughts about it, and I can talk all day about it. But please kick us off with repacks.
I don't necessarily think repacks are that bad of a thing. As long as people are honest about the floor, the ceiling, the average,
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. And there's obviously ways to scam with repacks, you know, not
Mm-hmm.
putting the chase in the repacks at all, and stuff like that. But I just see a lot more people doing it now. A lot of people are doing repacks, and as long as I do see though that they buy higher, um, they know
I've
how to
noticed
make
that
their
too.
money. Yeah, so that is kind of a good thing. That it's kind of like create a race where, yeah, a lot of people are selling repacks, but that means they're going to have to pay better if they want their cards. So, I mean, I guess that's the good thing. People are paying above 70% now, but
I was
you know,
what I've noticed from people who do the repacks is they'll pay strong 80,
mhm.
90, 100, maybe more for the card. So it's a chaser. And that's great for people who are selling the card. And from that perspective, I'm okay with the repacks. If they're going to buy the cards off of me, it's what they do with the cards and how they present the cards. And obviously the repack show and such. That's where it can kind of get a little fishy and such, depending on who they are. But I think the thing where, let's say it's all legitimate, it's all fair, it's all transparent. But the thing is, they're buying at such strong comps because they know they're going to get more for a $25 card. If that's the floor, they're going to get like 50 if that's like, what the average sell is. So they don't mind doing it from that perspective. But now this is where my problem is let's say I go pay for a spot for $50 and the card I get's the floor and it's 15 or $20. Now I'm into this $15-$20 card for $50. So when I go to sell the card, I'm going to be very, hesitant to move it for anything less than $50 or want to move it for less than $50. So now me as the one who paid the spot and essentially bought the card, I either have to keep it and take the $50 loss, or I can sell it, try to get $20 back, but I'm still in the hole for $30. Now, I guess, of course, on the flip side, you can get a crazy nice card for super cheap, of course, but chances are very, very small, but it happens. So, like, that's kind of where my thing with the repacks kind of goes is, yeah, it's great for us who sells the cards. However, whoever is buying the repack spot is going to probably get a card cheaper than what they're paying for. And now they're stuck
Mhm.
with it and they're not going to want to move it for what it's worth, you know, because they're into it for so much. That's my biggest thing with repacks.
Yeah, the thing is, when people buy these things, they don't really see it as gambling, but it is 1000% gambling at the end of the day.
I mean, a
You-
degenerate gambler will never admit that they're a degenerate gambler. They're like, oh, I just do it for fun, even though they're like,
yeah. No, but like breaking, repacks, it's all gambling, and I kind of hate how well, like, okay, so
gambleized it's become.
my problem with whatnot becoming so commercialized with all these influencers and stuff is that kids watch their channel.
Mm-hmm.
They're big with kids, popular. They take pictures with them on shows or whatever. Basically, promoting gambling to kids.
Yeah, and the kids will see these influencers. They'll see like how they orchestrate at card shows, but you're not seeing the whole deal. You're not seeing the whole negotiation. You're just seeing some of it and then the final product, and you're like, oh wow, this guy was able to get it for 67% comps because he said, oh, come on, do me a favor, give me a good deal. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, kids are so, I'm trying to say this in the right way, but I'm also trying to find the correct words. They're so, oh, what's the word I'm thinking? I can't think of the word. Not fragile, not manipulated, but like, oh, I can't think of the word. It's going to bug me. I'll think of it later. But like, if you show them something and you expose them to something, they're going to kind of pick up on that trend or that habit just
Mm-hmm.
because they're 12-year-old kids. They're still developing, they're still learning, they're still figuring things out, gaining experience. And I think just like whatnot, YouTube and social media is a great thing for the hobby. It pumps cards out, it pumps the name out, it pumps the hobby out to a wide variety of people of all ages. But it's the kids who need to, I don't want to say be watched, but they're the ones that need to kind of be careful because they are in such a fragile state. And if they see, somebody be like, oh yeah, I got this, I bought this card raw, I got it graded, and I flipped it for 100x. Like, oh wow, I can go do that too if I just had $5,000 to buy the card raw. And like now they're gonna try to
Mm-hmm.
go out of their way to like, I'm doing a trade up challenge, to get a $5,000 card. It's like, oh my god, stop it. It's not just kids; it's adults too. They're just as guilty. They're just
I
as
hate,
guilty.
I hate, I hate the trade up challenge so much.
Like if I'm trading a card, a $5, $10 card that I've had forever, and I know I can't move it, and I'm truly getting maybe a couple dollars less or at the same value, I'll do it. I don't care. But it's the ones when they bring me a $20 card because they'll have a $20 sticker on it. They'll have a $20 sticker on it. So I go look it up real quick. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, last one did $11. They're like, I'm like, I'll give you like a $10 to $15 card for it. They're like, okay. They're looking around. And they're like, would you trade this? And it's a $25 card. I'm like, dude, I just said I'd do 15. It's just because they just see the sticker of the card and they don't think, and they think that's what it's worth. And they get it and they go to the next table and be like, hey, can I get a card for $25 and 30 and so on and so on. But like, they're not looking up the value of the card. Or if they do, they're just trying to mask the fact that they got screwed probably.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a fan of it either. It's cool to see kids get out there and go to vendors, talk to them, and expose themselves to being social. Really, at the end of the day, to being social. But no, it is quite annoying at the end of the day.
I just hate when adults do it.
Oh no, apps. I will not entertain adults doing it at all. No, you can go buy the card. You work a big boy job or a big girl job. You can go buy the card. I'm not doing no trade up with you.
Yeah, it's just an excuse to get free money. It's just so annoying.
My favorite is when it'll be like a father and son, and the the son is carrying this case, and like, hey, are you buying or trading? I'll take a look, and it's just all bangers, all heaters, nothing less than $1,000, and the father's acting like it's the kid's cards. So then when
Mm-hmm.
I talk to the kid about, hey, what do you value this? What do you value that? The dad steps in and is like, oh, it's like 5,000. Oh, that's like 2,700. Da da da. It's like, well, whose cards are these? Are they yours? Are they his? If they're together, that's fine. Just tell me. I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I'm just curious. It's like
Everyone,
using
yeah,
it's like using the kid as a way to be like, look how cute and adorable he is. Now give me a better deal on the cards.
yeah. It's like a single guy walking the park with a cute dog.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm seeing billboards everywhere, advertisements everywhere with dogs in them. There was a roofing company in a neighboring town, and there was a picture of a dog. It was like, "Do you need a woof?" But it was like a roof. I mean, it was a great play on words, but like, I'm like, man, these things are everywhere. I mean, people are just pumping dogs into everything because they're cute and adorable, just like what people will do at shows. Here's my cute little daughter. Now give her this Pokemon card for super cheap so I can put it in my collection.
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. People think that people are gonna want to give deals to kids to get them in the hobby and all that stuff. It's like, no, you're like you said, you're the one with the case. These are obviously, not bought with his allowance.
Hell no.
Um, so these are
Eight-year-old
all,
Johnny is not buying a $5,000 Joe Burrow RPA because he did the dishes and he took out the trash. Just not possible. I, oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Stressful in a way.
sometimes you see these kids with these crazy cards, and it's like, how? How the hell?
Trade up challenge.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Silly me.
Oh my. Yeah, no, but you're right. How? Like, I mean, all the if it's legit and it's really your collection, all the power to you. And we're just shooting the shit. But like, how did you go from getting into the hobby to having a $5,000 Joe Burrow RPA? Like where how did you get from point A to point B? And what decisions did you make or did not make to get to this point? Because when you're 8 years old and you have a card like that or a case like that, and the kids have a sneaky case too. Some cards in kids' cases can be like, base rookies or base inserts and stuff like that. But some of the kids will have just an absolute, ton of good cards in their case.
Hmm.
How? Is it your parents' credit card and you're just buying the stuff on Whatnot? Is it you just buying stuff on eBay? Are you buying it raw and flipping it? I mean, there's how I'm curious how an 8-year-old is able to do it. I'm curious. And I don't
You say, if I didn't have all these bills, I'd have the same case.
and that's the thing, like adults have bills, they have responsibilities, they may have kids of their own, wives, girlfriends, whatever that they need to, put money towards. And there was a guy who came in the other day and I came down to like 550. He offered 530. It's like, you wouldn't do 530? I was like, I can't. And I was like, listen, I'll split it. I'll split it at 540. How about that? He's like, oh no, I'm kind of stuck at 530. What's $10? I'm like, $10. $10 to me is more important than you, because I got this bill to pay for, that bill to pay for, here at the shop. And he's like, oh, I got 4 kids and I got to feed them every. I'm like, okay, that's great. That's that does not, that's besides the point. I mean, again, $10 to me can kind of go towards I don't know, buying top loaders or supplies or whatever. It's just like people don't think about the bills that shops need to pay for or adults need to pay for. I mean, I don't know if I'm making sense here. I'm just kind of just spitting.
No, I know. You're good.
Okay. Okay, as long as that makes sense. But let's pivot. Let's switch gears. Because I feel like I'm kind of getting sidetracked here because I could rant all day about people. um Did you see the Victor Wembanyama that came back at PSA 10, the black one?
Yeah.
Did you see how
Yeah.
off-centered it was? Now, I'm not upset about the off-centering. I mean, maybe I am. Of course I am.
You are.
My
You are.
thing is, first of all, why get it numerically graded? What's the point? 8, 9, or 10? Who the hell cares? People will spend money that they don't have just to buy the card. Okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the point. Anyways, let me move on. Or because I'll just go down this rabbit hole myself. The guy who graded the card, I believe he thanked Kurt's Card Care. And that prompted PSA to make an announcement, be like, hey, we will not accept any cards that we think have a foreign substance on it. We are going to call it altered and we're not going to grade the card. Now, I know you like to use Kurt's Card Care. You've been dabbling with it. What does PSA saying that they're going to consider any cards with a foreign substance altered and they're not going to grade it? Does that deter you from grading cards with them, or does that deter you from using Kurt's Card Care? Is it just them just blowing smoke? What are your thoughts about that?
I'm gonna take that not so seriously.
Grain of salt, small grain
Yeah,
of salt.
PSA, as we know, is very inconsistent. They're probably just making that announcement just to make that announcement and publicity, just to save some
I
face. But
I
I mean,
couldn't agree more.
you know how many thousands and thousands of cards have gone through using Kurt's Card Care or other products? Absolutely no problem. I mean,
Do you
they
believe
they
in
have
Kurt's Card Care? Like, do you think
what's
that it
that?
works? Like, do you believe in Kurt's Card Care? Like, do you think it works? Do you think it's beneficial? Do you think that it's worth
Uh,
the investment, or if it's just a
I,
load
I
of baloney?
I still have to practice using it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but from what I've personally done, it hasn't made too much improvement yet. But but like I said, I still have to practice because it
Yeah,
is, it is a process. But I
I'm gonna
mean, I've
go ahead, finish.
seen I've seen videos and stuff. It shows before and afters, and it does look good.
I'm gonna start at the very top of the problem, and that's the manufacturers printing the cards. Because if they gave us good, not great, not perfect, just good, consistent printing of cards, Kurt's Card Care wouldn't be needed. It wouldn't be a thing. If we're looking at Panini having the one of one black with Victor Wembanyama Prism card be friggin' 80-20 and it's still getting a 10. But if they just took a little time, be like, hey, we think this card is probably going to be the top card on the market out of this set, maybe we should just make sure, line it up and spend 3 seconds on it instead of just 1 second on it to make sure that it looks good. And I think, again, from the manufacturers, if the cards are coming out good print quality wise, they should be good. Now, of course, there's going to be something, packaging, shipping, how the person handles the card that can kind of skew it over. Me personally, besides a microfiber cloth getting a little bit of lint, a little bit like a fingerprint on it, me personally, I I don't like it. I mean, I could care less what my collection is graded. I mean, you can't really see much of it. Oh, there's a few behind me actually. And then there's some more up there and in there. Unless the card's already graded, I could care less. I really could care less from my collection. But
Mm-hmm.
like we've talked about before, this hobby has become so, I'm going to try to make it a complete word here, flippinized, like revolutionized for flippinized,
Okay.
that you need to take a raw card and get a 10 on it in order, and that's really the purpose of grading. I mean, we've talked about this. We've spent, tons of time on this, but that's just the fact and the nature of it. And if there's this substance, this juice, this thing to help you get that 10, why wouldn't anybody use it? And I think I completely agree with you. I think PSA is just, hey, let's just make a statement. Let's just cover ourselves. And all right, when's the next meeting? And like, that's it. So
No,
yeah, I'm done.
it,
I'm done.
it is super crazy that it got a 10 with that centering though. Like I don't have the best eye for centering, but even I could tell that shit was not centered at all.
So I know I made a couple reaction videos to Sports Card Radio before. I don't know if you watch him yourself or if anybody watching watches Sports Card Radio. That the I think it was NorCal Sports Cards or whatever, made the post. They were like, "Oh, we were so thankful to get this, Wemby a 10. Thank you PSA, thank you Kurt's Card Care." And what Sports Card Radio was doing is like, that's basically saying thank you to Kurt's Card Care is basically saying thank you to your drug dealer, to your steroid dealer, publicly when you're going into the Hall of Fame. Like if Barry Bonds was inducted to the Hall of Fame, that's basically saying thank you to the doctor that provided me the steroids to inject into my ass to make me hit 700 and something home runs. And so you just don't do that. So it's like if the card was good enough, then you shouldn't have needed it to begin with. But that
Hmm.
makes me think that if they're thanking Kurt's card care, that means they used it because they felt like they needed to use it. I don't use Kurt's card care, but I'm just going to go off the assumption that if you don't think that it needs the spray or the rub on, whatever the hell the substance is of Kurt's card care, then you're not going to use it. It's just a waste if you don't think you need it. But they're thanking them, therefore they probably used them because the card needed it. And now it's a 10. What was the true condition of the card? We see it's off centered. Was there a print line on it? Was the
Hmm.
corner white? So what is the true condition of that PSA 10 card? It's mind blowing to me because it just
I
shows me that PSA is more fraudulent than I once perceived them to be, which was very fraudulent.
I just got to give some props to whoever was ballsy enough to use Kurt's card care on that card.
Is it a process to use Kurt's card care?
You have to be careful. So
You
it's
want to
like
walk us through the process? Here we go. Science experiment. Oh, he's got the kit. He's got the kit and everything.
so this wax right here.
Okay, that looks like
People
hair
use.
gel.
So this is used to like for print lines or
Mm-hmm.
um, get some gunk off. So it's like a wax where you have to put it on
Yep.
and it dries very quickly. So you have to wipe it off basically right away.
Now, what happens if it
And
dries on and you didn't wipe it off?
then you have to redo the process. You have to put the wax on and try to get the wax that was stuck on first off with the
Yeah.
second application. So that's one thing that's like iffy about it. Then you got the spray too. This
Okay.
is to clean it.
That's just
And
like just to get like fingerprints out or
yeah, fingerprints, stuff like that. So if
now this is
if
all one kit, right? This is all one
correct,
kit that you bought? Okay.
correct. So if the Wemby had any kind of print line, they had to have used the wax, which, like I
And
said, it dries very quickly. So you have to know the timing and all that stuff, how to use it properly.
have you noticed from your brief experimentations with Kurt's card care that it actually does get the print lines out or to some degree?
Um,
Because obviously, I'm assuming the more you rinse and repeat the process, the better the results are. Obviously, you got to be
exactly.
quick, you got to be gentle and fragile. But if you just apply it once, regardless how deep the print line is or not, will it just get it right out, or it's like a layer, wipe it, reapply, wipe it because it's so deep. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I still need to practice with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I haven't noticed too much change when I use it. Um,
It's just crazy to me.
yeah,
Absolutely
it's
crazy.
definitely a whole
Then
science.
I know Beckett a while back actually kind of came out and said, and I don't know if they used Kurt's card care specifically or if they just said, hey, if we notice any wax or anything on it, we're not going to grade this. And we're going to call it, I don't know if they called it altered or tampered or if they're just not going to grade it, period. I'm not exactly sure. But they came out with something like that a while ago, at least a couple months ago. So it's funny to see PSA come out and say something. And again, you could send them a pile of dog shit and they'll probably grade it a friggin' 9 for all we know. That's just how they work. I am curious to get your thoughts on how people go about taking a raw card, going through the process, and is the card still not gradable? Like, have you got to that point yet? Just because the flaws are just too bad. Like, will Card Care just cure anything and everything? Like a one-stop shop pharmacy for cards, or like, hey, this print line just not coming out. Like, do you think it will get to that point? Like, hey, it's just not going to come out. It's not going to come out.
I mean, yeah, they've said themselves, like on the videos, tutorials, whatever that I've watched, that it's not guaranteed to take out the print lines, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's sometimes it is too deep. Like since I've dabbled more, since I've focused more on baseball, I've noticed that Bowman Chrome has some print lines that just won't come out.
Interesting. So I was going back to my original point. Like, this is from the top. The manufacturers, Panini, Fanatics. Again, spend a half a second more on the print quality of these cards, and we'll be in a much better position, to the point where maybe Card Care is not needed. Microfiber would get the print the fingerprint off, and then boom, send it out. But
Mm-hmm.
we're in a day and age where these companies don't care about the print quality, because they know that us consumers are still going to buy it regardless. So, hey, let's print them out as fast as we can. Who cares about the print quality? Because they know suckers like us and everybody else are still going to buy it, no matter what it looks like. That Wemby could be the left border of the card could be at the damn edge, and the right side of the border could be an inch thick, and people are still going to religiously buy that product. It just, that's how it is.
I say it all the time. I say it all the time. I'll take time and money to improve if people are going to buy it anyways.
And that's what, like, I mean, I get, maybe Panini is just at the point where they're just like, screw it, whatever, we're gonna lose the license. Who cares? But I would also think that they're also at the same point where it's like, hey, we're losing these licenses. Should we maybe save our legacy for future sports to want to sign with us, or athletes to sign with us, or for people to still want to buy our products from other sports? I mean, maybe I care too much about my business, and me wanting to make sure that my quality of what I offer is good. But I mean, again, Panini's going to lose a license in less than 2 years. And I would like to think that, like any business, you would want to care a little bit about making sure that you still have that customer base and that customer support. Even when you lose, you're pretty much your top two moneymakers. So people will still dabble with this and with that and with that, even though it's not football and basketball. But maybe they just don't care. Maybe they just do not care.
Yeah, and if anything, it's probably them cutting back costs too, because they know they're going to lose their two money makers, so they have to start saving money.
In 10 years from now, do you think Panini is going to go underwater as a business?
It'll probably happen sooner than that.
You think so? Because I mean,
what do they have?
I mean, I know they have wrestling right now, but they're going to lose that too. I don't know about UFC. UFC Topps Chrome actually just came out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we also just got Optic UFC a couple months ago. So I don't know where the UFC.
I thought Topps got WWE or Fanatics.
Yeah, it's going to take like 2 years.
Gotcha.
It's like going through the same court thing, like football and basketball is going through. Let's see, soccer. They still have soccer. They don't have F1. Hockey's Upper Deck. Baseball's obviously Fanatics. I'm trying to think. I'm just trying to. Yeah, I have no idea. Draft picks. I wonder. Collegiate products. They could probably still have, because those aren't NFL related. So.
Bowman
so that like draft.
Oh
yeah, Bowman Chrome U. Oh yeah. So, because there's Bowman Chrome U, and then there's obviously draft pick football and basketball. I wonder how that's going to shake out, because they're both licensed. Licensed. I wonder how that's going to shake out. I have no idea. I mean, I'm sure we're probably forgetting some brands that they probably have, but just in a vacuum, it seems like Fanatics is just kind of taking over, or people are just choosing a different option. And I guess that only other option is Fanatics. But it also leads me to the next discussion point that I want to talk about is we've seen Fanatics buy out this company. We've seen them buy out that company. We just saw PSA or Collectors, buy SGC. And now we see CCG buy out JSA. So many acronyms. Let me break it down for you guys. CCG is Certified Collectibles Group. They are the parent company of CGC. They are the parent company of like NGC, which is like the coin grading company. It's anything GC pretty much is CCG. It's so many acronyms. But if you go to CCG's website, they have like 10 different types of grading for the different types of collectibles, like VHS, comics, cards, sports cards, uh, action figures. I mean, if you think of it, they could probably do it. JSA obviously is like one of, if not the leader of autograph authentication. If your great grandfather got a ball signed by Mickey Mantle back in the 50s and 60s, because he went to Yankee Stadium that day, you can send it to them or drop it off at their booth at a show. They'll authenticate it for you. And that JSA tag is very well respected in the autograph and hobby industry. So I'm just trying to break it down for people. So CCG, again, Certified Collectibles Group, bought out JSA, James Spence Authentication. Are we possibly going to see a run of companies buying out other companies, not necessarily creating monopolies, but in efforts to try to play catch up or keep up with collectors, with fanatics, with any other company buying another company, in the near future? Because I think we will. I think we're going to start seeing companies buy out other companies and such.
Well, the thing with that is, what companies are left to be bought out?
You show them a check and anyone will sell anything.
I mean, like, we could, this is very random. We could, like, Panini maybe buying out Leaf or something like that, but
like SGC being bought out by collectors, again, PSA, it's all the same thing, technically separate, but was honestly kind of a surprise to me personally. I thought maybe Fanatics was going to buy SGC out just because of all the Bowman Chrome and the top series, $9 specials that they do. Seemed like something was in the works there. I'm not going to go as far and say Fanatics will buy collectors now. I think that's too much. That would be truly monopolizing the industry. But I don't know, someone buy Beckett? Does somebody buy Upper Deck out? Does somebody buy Leaf out? It's just I don't know anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Like, who's going to buy Beckett besides
Fanatics?
collectors?
I mean, Fanatics maybe, because they don't have a grading company yet. And again, everyone kind of pointed fingers to SGC. Now that's kind of off the table. This would be sneaky. Could Fanatics buy CCG now and take ownership of a autograph authentication company, take control of a card grading and collectible grading company? And then they also bought up PWCC not too long ago. And there was one more company. Oh, Topps, obviously. That's how it all started. Like, anything's on the table. If you show somebody a check for the right amount, anything's really on the table. It just, I don't want it to be a monopoly. And I think we're starting to go in that direction. At the same time, I don't, because I don't think not one company owns everything or owns 80% of the market for all these, maybe Fanatics buys out Whatnot. I think we might have talked about this. They buy out Whatnot and they just get rid of the damn thing. They're like, screw you, see you later. Let's close it down. And everything has to be funneled through Fanatics Live. Like, that's an investment in its own. Yeah. Maybe Collectors buys out Whatnot, where, if you buy this card from a break on Whatnot, hey, you can send it right straight to PSA or SGC, get it graded, and it'll get sent right back to you. I mean, you got to kind of think outside the box, but it is on the table. It is definitely on the table. So commercialized, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It is so commercialized.
It's definitely not it being Fanatics. Fanatics. It's definitely not a monopoly yet. People like to throw that word around without really knowing what it means. Just because someone's a big player in the market doesn't mean they're in a monopoly because there's still a lot of options
A lot
when
of
it comes to
competition out there.
yeah,
Hmm.
they might not be as popular, but there still is a lot of whatever different brands.
Hmm.
But we do have to be careful of one company taking over control too much.
Do you think we may ever get to the point? I don't think so. Where somebody, Fanatics or somebody else, who knows, buys Panini and either takes the name, changes the name, rebrand it, get rid of it altogether, because I could see it happening, especially if Panini gets watered down or gets like flooded down with a lack of, I don't know, that's the bad word. They just have a lack of products because they lost all the licensing, but that's to their own fault. And Fanatics is like, hey, we'll give you this check, just give us the company and give us the rights to everything and be done with it, just like they've done a couple times now. I don't think so, but it is something to think about.
Well, I mean, the way I see it is they'll probably cut some costs once they lose the licenses and just pump out unlicensed basketball and football like they do baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it's still surprising that they're Tops hasn't done any unlicensed products yet. Like, Topps Chrome base football, basketball, not licensed though. I know in November an unlicensed Topps Chrome basketball set was supposed to come out, but we never got it. I don't know why, but it would have been a great time to bring it back, especially with um, Wemby obviously being the Chase rookie. That would have been a really great way to inceptionize this unlicensed product that is so polarizing to the hobby to begin with. But if you
Mm-hmm.
reintroduce it with the top tier prospect or top tier talent, then people might say, it doesn't matter. Let's just buy it because Wemby's in it and go chasing for those autos because he's Fanatics. Tops is Fanatics. So therefore, you can pull Wemby autos, which you can't do right now out of Prism and any other
Well,
product.
actually, did you see that he's going to have a Topps Dynasty RPAs? Or
I saw that he's going to have a baseball autograph before he has a basketball autograph, which is because Topps Dynasty. I mean, well, obviously there's Topps Dynasty F1, baseball, all that good stuff.
yeah.
But that auto, right, is out of a baseball set because it's not like Topps Dynasty basketball. At least
Mm-hmm.
from what I saw, it's Topps Dynasty baseball.
No, it's
I mean,
baseball. Yeah.
so like, are they going to take the jersey that he wore when he threw out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium? I mean, are they just going to give him like
Yeah,
a
man,
jersey to throw on? Like, he will have an
man throws out
RPA
one.
for
Man
what's
throws
that?
out one first pitch, and man throws out one first pitch, and now he's a baseball star.
And we're getting a baseball RPA of the first generational talent in 20 years, arguably. You might want to mix in other generational talents too, but he's actually panning out compared to like a Zion or something. And he has a baseball RPA before he's never going to have a basketball RPA because by the time Fanatics takes over, he's going to be what, third year, fourth year in the league. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, money really controls a lot of things and it really controls the hobby because if Panini offered him more money than Fanatics, probably would have signed with Panini. But then his autos would have been screwed down the road because he would be in Fanatics licensed products and
Yeah.
they don't, one carries auto. But then again, no one cares about veteran autos anyways, which quickly, I want to get your take on that. I know I didn't write it down. I just kind of thought of it. What is your point of view on veteran cards, autos, patches, numbered stuff, inserts, case hits, whatever it may be? Yeah, there's value, but it's not a rookie though. Like, where do you
Uh,
stand on that?
I think veteran cards are more for collectors.
Mhm.
Like when I buy Juan Soto autos for myself, I don't give a fuck if it's rookie, license, anything, as long as it's a Juan Soto auto. So I think veteran, yeah, like I said, it's more for collectors who like the people. That's why they're so
And
much cheaper.
I'll see cool insight like Patrick Mahomes out of 49 out of Phoenix. Pick anybody really. And it's just like, yeah, there is value there. $15, $20, whatever the number sign is. But it's just people don't care. Around here, at least, who come to the shop, who I deal with at shows, they just don't care. I'm like, listen, if you slap the RC on that card and you labeled it 2017 for Mahomes, that card is worth $400. Meanwhile, I have this card right here. I love using this little notepad here. This card right here is worth $25. Take your pick. It's baffling to me. And you're right. I think those are best served. Those veteran cards are best served for collectors. However, at the end of the day, sports cards, hobby, collecting, it's all kind of one thing, but people really forget about the collecting aspect of it. Although this hobby is foundationalized on collecting. I speechless, let me say. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because it was as we conclude. Go ahead.
Just circle back to the Wemby thing real quick. He has a dual auto with Aaron Judge in there.
That's a banger of a card.
I know that's going to be actually kind of sick.
But it's not a rookie for Judge though. I mean, I've had a nice Judge dual patch. It wasn't an auto, a dual patch. It's like number to 49. Game used jersey, funny enough, or maybe player worn jersey and game used bat. I'm not sure. I forget what it was, but Judge used it in one way, shape, or another, and it was like a $40 card, and it sat for a month. I'm like, everybody's clamoring for Judge when he's healthy because he's very exciting to watch. Mm-hmm. But because the card was printed 6 years after his rookie year, means it's undesirable that nobody wants it. Like, make that make sense. Like, Yankees have a great following. It's not like he plays for like this no life team or this small market team. Like, he's a Yankee, huge market, arguably the biggest market. Wemby, yeah, he plays in San Antonio. It's not the biggest market. Spurs are still a good team, great coach, good little history, and he's a generational talent. Yet, once his veteran cards come out next year, that hype for Wemby card is going to plummet completely. With the exception of the rookie cards, of course. Mm-hmm. So as we conclude every episode, Ricky, I would love to hear an outgoing take. It could be something we talked about. It could be something we haven't talked about. Maybe it's a cliffhanger for next episode. What is your outgoing take as we conclude today's episode?
With the season coming up, we're still buying James Wood.
Is this the last time to buy James Wood if he makes the opening day roster? Or are we going to switch the narrative to sell James Wood if he makes the opening day roster? Come next episode, which is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, April 4th.
So the season is the first weekend of the season will be done by then.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a lot to talk about.
I think next episode might be a little baseball heavy. Maybe a little draft preview. Talk about that. Hey, how important is the draft for the market? Yeah. Whatever. But I definitely do think it's going to be baseball heavy because we're going to see maybe a player like Jackson Holiday potentially make the team. James Wood make the team. Whatever. But sorry, keep going.
No, I mean that's pretty much it. I'm just excited for baseball.
I couldn't agree more. I guess my outgoing take. Trying to think. My outgoing take is we have the draft coming up in a month, 5 weeks or so, and people are very excited for it. It's a great opportunity for a team to rebuild, to change their culture and build, and just become a good team. However, whoever Caleb Williams goes to, whoever Jaden Daniels goes to, whoever the Patriots pick, they're not going to have NFL rookie cards for months. And I think that's kind of the one thing people get a little confused on or misunderstand, because these kids have draft picks, collegiate cards already. Caleb Williams with the Trojan autos, Jaden Daniels LSU autos, whoever the Patriots take collegiate autos, but they're collegiate. And around here in New England, people don't care for collegiate cards, which is quite unfortunate, which I've bitched about plenty of times. Don't expect rookie cards of these guys until August, September. And even then, they're probably going to still be in their collegiate jersey. So this is kind of like an infomercial to let people know as the draft gets closer. They're still going to probably be in the collegiate jerseys, even though it'll say like New England Patriots in the bottom corner. there's going to be time before Jaden Daniels has his NFL jersey rookie card. But I think now is a good time to buy those collegiate cards because there is a market for them. Maybe not in New England, on eBay, other parts of the country. So don't take those for granted because wherever these guys go, the market's going to jump and it's going to be through the roof over the course of the summer because people are going to be excited about the Bears and Caleb Williams and maybe the Patriots and Jaden Daniels or whatever the case may be. So that's my outgoing take as we conclude today's episode. A great episode again. I mean, I feel like we talked about a bunch of stuff, which I love doing, just really kind of, really talk about talk about a bunch of different stuff to really kind of cover all of our bases with topics within the hobby. Any exciting plans for the weekend coming up?
Uh, the Celtics are good in town again on Saturday, but I don't think I'm going to be able to go. But
They almost
I'll
choked you
be
last
I'll be
night.
watching I'll be watching them on TV. We'll talk about that next time.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate it. And we will catch you for the next episode of Hobby Talk, a cardboard podcast. Peace out, guys.
See ya.